What is up, everybody? How y'all doing? How you doing? It is time for the weekly forecast. I haven't done one of those in a minute, have I? Haven't done a weekly forecast in a minute. I got to get back on that, dude. All right. So, for those of you in need of a personal reading, all the information is in the description of this video. And remember, for those of you who missed the memo, the course I decided to break out for the month of May is my course on how to read the tarot. That still remains my most popular course to this day. And my ultimate goal with that is to help those of you wanting to learn how to read develop your own style. I know that may sound kind of weird because, like, I do show you my style, but my style isn't really developed from following a strict set of rules, you know? And you don't have to follow a strict set of rules to learn how to read. There's a few things you want to know. But, you know, from what I've seen when people try to learn how to read, like 75% of the shit people stress themselves out about when it comes to learning how to read isn't even that fucking important, you know? So it is a two-part course, though, because there is a lot that goes into it. But yeah, that's the course for the month of May, June 1st. That course goes bye-bye. And also, we're going to be changing the weekly live readings to Saturday now. I know this weekend has been all screwed up and fucked up and it was all messed up, but it's going back to Saturday. So everything is still the same. You can pre-order anytime throughout the week, and they're read in the order of which they come in now every Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. All right, let's jump into this. Aries, let's just see, let's just see the person that you're thinking about, feelings and intentions towards you. Aries. I gotta find a deck that'll talk to me though, dude. Aries, let's see this person's feelings and energy towards you. Ooh, Six of Pentacles reversed. Hang on. Eight of Swords reversed. Okay. Well, I mean, Five of Wands. So there is a really strong feeling of unfinished business with the World reversed right in the heart of the spread. I do think this person does miss what you all used to have. I think so. But at the end of the day, this individual is still a very service to self type of individual. You know? Very one-sided. You know, it's all about me. I don't care what you've had going on. What reasoning you had behind the decisions that you made doesn't matter to me. I don't care to see things from your perspective. You know, it's all about me. So I do think this person does want to be a part of your life, but not if it has anything to do with them making some sort of change or apologizing for some of the things that they did or acknowledging that they've even done anything wrong, you know? I want you to be a part of my life, but on my terms, you know, on my terms. If you come into my life and do it my way, then this will work out, you know? But you got to do it my way. I'm not changing nothing. Basically, you know? So, but they do miss you, though. They do miss what you all used to have back in the day. As weird as that may sound. For those of you who dealt with somebody that had some sort of addiction issue, I know that's not all of you, but those of you who dealt with that, no, they're not clean. Could be a Virgo for some of you. I also have Capricorn here. And they're doing things to try to get your attention. All right, let's see the actions they're taking and the outcome. What actions are they taking and what's the outcome here? What actions are they taking and what's the outcome? 2 more shuffles, 2 more. All right. Judgment reversed. Sun card. 5 of fucking wands again, dude. Alright, so honestly, it kind of feels to me, and there's the 6 of Cups again. Feels to me like they're putting on a show for you, hoping that you're watching. Trust me, they're more heartbroken about this than you know. But they're holding back and not letting you know that. This kind of feels like a good old classic case of pretend that I don't care and hope that that keeps you awake at night so that you'll come chasing after me. You know? Tower card, death card. They want you to think that they're done, it's over, you know, in hopes that they reel you in. Now, I'm not doing advice spreads here, but I would say careful with that shit. Be careful with that. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, though. Not going to tell you not to do it. But what I will say is that if you do decide to cave into this, don't let it play itself out too many times before you draw the line, okay? But I think honestly, I would exercise the power that you actually have over the situation because you're the one with the power. I don't know if you know that or not. You absolutely are. All right, Taurus. Taurus. Let's see how the person on your mind is feeling about you. What's their energy towards you? How do they see you? What do their intentions look like? 2 more shuffles. Ooh, the World card upright. Kind of feels to me like somebody that wants closure. 3 of Swords could be a third-party situation, possibly for some of you. I do think that I don't know, with the 7 of Pentacles there, and the 2 of Wands, I think they would like closure, but I'm not seeing any reconciliation energy in here, but it almost kind of feels like it's insinuating that. Yeah, they don't know whether or not it would be a good idea to attempt reconciliation or to get closure or to just leave this be. You know? They do have their guard up towards you. Absolutely, 100%. So just know they're not exactly waiting to hear from you with open arms, you know. I don't think they're mad at you, though. I don't think they're mad at you, though. I think they're probably just concerned about whether or not you're mad at them. I think, though, at the deepest level with this Ace of Cups here and the 3 of Swords, this indicates that they got feelings for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think they're doing the best they can to try to detach themselves from this emotionally. They're trying to separate themselves from this, you know? So, but ultimately, with the 2 of Wands here, it's like they don't really know how they feel. And it's really easy to slip into a place of not knowing how you feel when you are trying to logically analyze your own feelings. They're contemplating breaking the silence, but they don't know if that would be a good idea or not. I just think that when it all comes down to it, they just don't know. They're up in their head. They don't know. Don't know any better way to explain that. Let's see what actions they're taking and the outcome, just for the week. For the week, what actions is this person taking and what's the outcome? What actions are they taking and what's the outcome? 2 Two more shuffles, two more. Moon card, keeping their thoughts and their feelings to themselves. Oh, yeah, see, 5 of Wands. 7 of Wands again. Yeah, they're keeping their thoughts and feelings to themselves, but I do honestly think that they are kind of slowly inching their way towards you. You know, and this is all the way down here at the bottom of the line. So any actions they're taking, you may not notice it yet, but it's like they're slowly inching their way towards you. And here soon, probably not this week, but you know, in the future, they're going to start doing little things to see if they can get your attention, you know, or depending on whether or not they deem it to be the right opportunity, they may just show up straight up in your inbox. But I think for the majority of you, they're just slowly inching their way towards you, looking for some sort of green light, you know, some sort of opportunity that would indicate that it's a good idea to come forward. But for now, Strength card, Moon card, they're holding back and keeping their feelings to themselves. All right. Well, if I could throw a little personal advice in there. I don't know, man. That's a delicate situation. That's a real delicate situation. I don't know. I think depending on, here's what I'll say about that. Depending on this person's energy and what went down between the two of you. Is this a person that you should legitimately be worried about? Like, is this a dangerous person? Is this a toxic manipulator? If so, hold back. Hold the fuck back. But if you think that honestly, when it all comes down to it, you know, this person is somebody that you could potentially have an amicable conversation with, then, I don't know, maybe think about you being the one initiating communication. I don't know, that's hard to generalize, though, for a general reading. If it was, like if you came to me for a personal reading, I would really, really, really want to dig into this person's energy. So, for now, though, I think I would kind of hang back and judge whether or not you think it would be a good idea based on basically how toxic this person is. All right. Damn it, man. That was weird. That was a cliffhanger, wasn't it? All right, Gemini. Gemini, how's the person you're thinking about feeling about you? Person on Gemini's mind, how are they feeling about you? What's their energy towards you? Two more. Boom. Ooh, 10 of Pentacles. 2 of Wands reversed. Ooh, got the Page of Swords reversed. Definitely keeping a very close eye on you. Now, for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe you can tell me why. But for some reason, it seems to be eating this person alive that you don't really seem to give a shit about them from their perspective looking in. I don't know. Are you making it a point to heal from this or move past it? Whatever it is you're doing, it's working. It's working because it's eating them alive, because it just looks like you don't care. Looks like you forgot that they exist, you know? And it's, hey, they're a lot more burdened by this than you know, and they're keeping a very, very close eye on you, like I said. I don't know. There's just all this energy of this person being very, very burdened by this, but not really wanting you to know. But it feels like they're projecting. That's the thing. It feels to me like they're trying to match your energy. Like, it looks like you don't care, so they want to project that back to you. Because I'm gonna try not to be complicated here. Because you not caring bothers them, they want to in turn bother you by not caring as well. Does this make any sense at all? Does this make any sense at all? But even with all that energy and all those feelings and all that shit energy this person is bathing in, you know what I don't see here? True love. Not true love. If anything, it feels like possessiveness and like a toxic attachment type of energy, you know? It's kind of what this feels like. Because, you know, at the end of the day, whenever somebody's in this energy right here, if this person truly, genuinely, like, loved you, they'd be doing anything and everything that they can to better themselves as a person for the sake of this connection, you know? And if you bring somebody like this back into your life, it's going to turn into a shit show of insecurities and jealousy and arguments and fighting and stuff like that, you know? So, man, some of you dealt with a Sagittarius, possibly also have Scorpio, Taurus. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. Let's see what actions they're taking and the outcome, if any. If any at all. What are their actions and the outcome? Blue. Ooh, Magician reversed. Hang on. You know what I gotta say about that, right? You know what I gotta say about that. Okay. For those of you dealing with somebody that you know for a fact dabbles in metaphysics and esoterics, I guarantee you they're going to try to throw some black magic at you. I know that sounds weird to say, you know, but believe it or not, I hear that a lot in my personal readings. A lot. People do come to me all the time dealing with negative energy attacks from little fucking childish, basically they're like little childish toddlers throwing a fit. You know, that's the type of people that use black magic, you know. And don't freak out about it. Don't worry about it. Don't feed it fear. Don't feed it anger. Don't feed it negativity. All you have to do is learn how to identify a foreign energetic invasion. That's all you have to do. And it can be tricky. It can be tricky. Let me tell you all a little secret. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I feel like I have to say this. Even if somebody does try to throw some black magic at you, they can't hurt you. That's not the way it works. If somebody throws some kind of hex at you or casts a spell on you, a negative one, and it works, it wasn't them that hurt you. The way it works is that they throw that energy at you, and it very, very slowly creeps up underneath your subconscious mind and overtakes your conscious mind from underneath without you realizing it. And it overtakes your conscious mind, and basically it gets you to manifest the bad thing for it. So it's still you doing it. All it can do is plant thoughts in your head. That's all it can do. All it can do. Those negative energies and all that, it isn't hurting you. It is not powerful enough to manifest anything. All it can do is put thoughts in your head and make you manifest it. That's the way it really works. That's the way it really works. All you have to do is learn how to identify the difference between your energy and some other energy that's being thrown at you and reject it. That's all you have to do. That is that fucking simple. You know how long I've been dealing with shit like that? I've been dealing with that shit for years. Do you know how many people have been throwing black magic at me and trying to fucking cast spells on me and put a hex on me and shit for years? I'm telling you, it's that simple. All you have to do is know thyself. If you know yourself, nobody can fuck with you. Nobody can fuck with you. I don't know who needed to hear that, but I know I trailed way off on that one. As far as actions, though, Two of Swords, Page of Cups reversed. Doesn't look like a whole lot of actions happening here. But they are planning to probably try to throw some kind of pity party and try to manipulate you emotionally. Okay, so be wary of that. Be wary of that. I don't know, man, if I'd throw some personal advice on this. That sounds to me to be as simple as possible. That sounds to me like something I would, if it was me, I'd stay the hell away from that person. Oh, man. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't even want to say anything else. I really don't. Other than it sounds like a situation I would stay the hell away from. Jesus Christ, Batman. Hang on. Let me clear the air a little bit with some Palo Santo. That was some heavy-ass energy, dude. That was some heavy-o-ass energy. All right, Cancer. Let's see what's up with you. Let's see what is good with the Cancerian collective. Cancer, how's the person you're thinking about feeling about you? What's their energy towards you? What are their intentions? Two more shuffles, two more. Oh, Devil card. Eight of Pentacles, Ace of Wands reverse. Woo, Lovers card. I think this person be obsessing over you for real, for real. But, wow, that's weird. They do obsess over you, but they feel like this connection is a waste of time at the same time. Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense to you? They obsess over you, but they feel like it's a waste of time. They feel a real strong connection with you. Some of you are dealing with somebody that may have questioned or still be questioning whether or not you are their twin flame. I know that may not be all of you, but let me just put it to you like this. I don't really touch on the twin flame subject anymore because, you know, that still seems to be one of the most misunderstood concepts in the spiritual community. But if you come to me for a personal reading and you ask me, is this person my twin flame? The twin flame connection is one of the very, very, very few fucking things in which there's only one card that will answer that question. Anything else can be answered in countless, unlimited different numbers of card combinations and placements and positions. But the twin flame connection, there's only one card, and that's this one. That's the twin flame card. So, I'm not saying that it is or it's not, but I do think that some of you dealt with somebody that may have questioned whether or not you are their twin flame. Or at least, you know, whatever connection is the equivalent. Really, really, really intense. But at the same time, they still feel like it's a waste of time. So it's kind of like they have this battle going on between head and heart. If you dealt with somebody that has an addiction issue, no, they're not clean. Matter of fact, if this person had an addiction issue, I would probably even go as far as to say that they're getting worse. Probably getting worse. So, yeah, it almost kind of feels like, even though they feel like the strongest fucking connection in the world here, they're trying to just close this out and say, fuck this, it's done, it's a waste of time. But I still think you own every square inch of space in their head. But it's like they're trying to fight against that for some reason. I don't know why. All right, let's see their actions and the outcome for the week. What's their actions and the outcome for the week? King of Swords reversed. Star card reversed. Temperance. Man, it looks to me like they walking away. They walking away. But I don't think they're slamming the door shut on this for good. They now, here's where it gets funny. I think that's what's in their intentions. But I think at the deepest level, they're not shutting the door on this for good. In their mind, that's their plan, to just walk away from this. But I don't think they're going to be able to shut the door on this for good. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's going to continue getting a little bit heavier and a little bit heavier and a little bit heavier and a little bit heavier the more time rolls on. And at a subconscious level, they're waiting for the right opportunity to come forward. But for now, though, see, look, there it is again. Check it out. Twin flame card. This is too intense to just walk away from and shut the door on. I don't think they have the emotional or the psychological strength to do that. I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, for those of you just now tuning in, I'm not doing advice spreads, but if I have a little bit of personal advice, I'll throw it in there. I would say, hey, you know what? Let them squirm in it. You think you're going to go find better? Go find it. Go find it. Respectfully. Go on now. You really think that you're going to go do so much better than me? Okay, go do it. Go do it. Whenever you realize that the decision you're making is not better than this, hopefully it's not too late. Ooh, and look at that again. Look at that again. Twin flame card, man. I don't say this very often, but some of you could be dealing with a twin flame connection. That's just every fucking deck that I've grabbed. The twin flame card is screaming at me. But if that's a question in your mind, I'm not saying this for everybody, but if you've been thinking this is a twin flame, it very well could be. Very well could be. Thank you, Shika, for the super chat. Hope I said your name right. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Leo. Leo, let's see how the person on your mind is feeling about you, what they're thinking about you, what their energy and intentions are towards you. Person Leo's dealing with and thinking about. Boom! Woo! King of Cups. Ha-ha! Hang on. Looks like they definitely got some feelings for you. Star card. Ooh, we got that 9 of Wands, though. Okay. Man, The whole time I was shuffling, this kept yelling at me. And I was trying to work around it, but they're doing things to try to get your attention. This person's a lonely individual. You know that, right? I would go as far as to say that this is a codependent loner. Does that make sense? That makes sense? It's like they're lonely, empty, and needy, but at the same time, they're afraid of emotions. I don't know if you can wrap the mind around that. I'm lonely, empty, incomplete, but I'm scared to let anybody in. So where it may look like this person is very independent, they're not emotionally independent. You know, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand about independence. True independence doesn't mean I take care of myself. I function really well by myself. You know, that's what most people think independence means. I do everything myself. I support myself, pay my own bills, got my own car, my own house, my own job. I cook my own food, tie my own shoes, and wipe my own ass. I'm independent, right? But at the same time, they're very lonely, empty, and needy. They just got their fucking guard up, bruh. They got their guard up. And what does a lonely, empty, needy, independent, isolated person normally do? They pretend that they're happy when they ain't. They ain't. But I think this person got feelings for you, though. They do. They do. They just don't really know what to do about this situation. They don't know what to do. Have you been on and off with this person? I know that's not all of you. But I'm thinking that those of you who have been on and off with this person, it's getting to the point where they're no longer waiting to see if you're going to come back. I don't know, it kind of feels like the more time rolls on, they're losing faith in this, you know? But even at the end of the day, even if y'all were to come together tomorrow, they still don't really feel like putting forth the work. You know? Could be an Aries for some of you. I also have Aquarius, Virgo. Could be a fellow Leo. I also have Cancer here. 2 Cancer cards, actually. Yeah. So, with the 8 of Swords right there. For those of you wondering whether or not this person regrets what they did, or has had a wake-up call, or has changed their view on something, this person doesn't even believe that they've done anything wrong. And at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't see an issue with their own actions, ain't nothing ever going to change. You have to see an issue with your own actions before you make a change. So, all right. Virgo. Let's see what's up with the Virgo family. Or wait a minute. Hang on. No, we still got one more spread, don't we? Yeah, we got one more spread. Hang on. Sorry, Virgo. I didn't mean to get you excited there. Let's see what actions they're taking in the outcome towards Leo. Is this person taking any action towards Leo for the week? Is this person taking action towards Leo for the week? Death card reversed. King of Cups reversed. It just kind of looks like they're planting their happy ass right where they are. And again, doing things to try to get your attention. Posting things directed towards you, viewing your Instagram story, liking your picture, walking into your best friend's workplace, doing things to try to get your attention. But taking actual action, the King of Pentacles, you tell me what actions it looks like he's taking. He ain't taking no action. He's just planting his happy ass there on his Pentacle throne, chilling. But, again, I'm not pulling advice spreads here. All I'm going to say is, be careful with that shit. Be careful. They don't believe they've done anything wrong. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say do it or don't do it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But they don't believe they've done anything wrong. Just know that going into it. That should tell you everything you need to know. All right. Now, Virgo. 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 Let's see how the person that you're thinking about is feeling about you. What's their energy towards you? What are their intentions? How do they see you? 3 more shuffles. 3 more. Boom. Ooh, the Fool card. Ooh, 9 of Swords. Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting. I think... so this person knows that you're not dumb enough to fall for their game. They know that. So I think they're working on crafting a gamier game. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, let me give you a little abstract analogy here, okay? There's 2 types of people. There's the type of person who, when they do something wrong, they feel genuinely guilty and sorry for what they did. They feel ashamed of themselves, you know? And then there's the person who isn't sorry for what they did. They're sorry because there was a consequence, right? So, how many people out there don't steal? Do you know anybody out there who's not a thief? They don't steal. They never steal from stores. They don't steal from family or friends. When it comes to people who don't steal, there's 2 reasons why a person doesn't steal. A, because stealing is wrong. Or B, because they're afraid of the consequences. Do you see what I'm kind of getting at here? What I'm getting at here is like whenever something bad happens in a relationship, right? Somebody was cheating or being sneaky or lying or deceitful or whatever the case may be. There's the type of person who goes within themselves and says, man, I'm a piece of shit, dude. I can't keep doing this. I can't believe this, this person fucking loved me and trusted me and I betrayed that. Fuck, I'm a piece of shit, And there's the type of person that's like, damn it, I fucking got caught. So what did I do wrong? And how can I figure out a different way to go about doing the same thing without getting caught next time? I think you understand the point that I'm making, right? Boop, boop. Devil card, King of Wands reversed. 9 of Swords. So that, in a nutshell, I know that's kind of a weird way for me to describe this person's energy, but in a nutshell, that's where this person's mind is. That's where their mind is. They're afraid to come forward because they know that you ain't stupid. They know that you ain't putting up with no bullshit. So, yeah, that's about it. I don't know any other way to describe this person's energy, dude. I don't know any other way. They are wondering if you're going to come forward. Actually, I would probably even go as far as to say there's a big part of them that does expect you to come forward. I think so. Maybe that's what they're planning on. Maybe they're planning for the day that if you was to come forward, how they're going to pretend that they've changed. Maybe. God damn it, man. I gotta remember to bring my sage in here. Fucking A. Thank you, TV12, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, well, let's see if this person's taking any action towards you. Is this person taking action towards Virgo? Actually, let me get a deck I haven't used. My good luck deck. How about that? This is one of my oldest decks. What actions are they taking towards Virgo? Just for the week. Just for the week. Ace of Swords reversed. Probably not a lot. Probably not a lot. Like I said, they don't know how to approach you. They don't really know how to start a conversation with you. So, yeah, they're just waiting with their guard up, basically. Waiting with their guard up. Man, I don't even know what to tell you about that shit. I don't even know what to tell you about that. What I would say is make sure you've done as much healing as possible before you even think about communicating with this person. Make sure you've done as much healing as possible. Here's the funny thing. The more healing you do, the less likely you are inclined to revisit something from the past. Anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Friends, family. You heal from a toxic family dynamic, the likelihood that you're going to go off and be the fucking black sheep is very, very high. Very high. All right. Libra. Libra. Let's see how this person's feeling about you. What their energy is towards you. What their intentions are. Let's see. Person Libra be thinking about. Ooh, King of Swords. I'm not speaking on that yet. I'm not speaking on that yet. There's always some bullshit that lies underneath that energy. Most of the time. I could be wrong, but hang on. Two of Cups reversed. Four of Cups giving you the silent treatment. 10 of Wands. See, I told you. Every time, dude. Every time. Yup. Told you, dude. Told you. So, giving you the silent treatment. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if you was to go look at this person's Instagram or their Facebook or whatever, it probably looks like they've got it all going on. They're happy. They don't have a care in the world. It may even look like they're doing better than they were whenever y'all had going on whatever you had going on. Like they just don't give a shit. Right? That's what it looks like. But 9 times out of 10, that's always a crock of shit. 9 times out of 10. Especially when you know. Look, I don't know who needs to hear this. But one of my most frequently asked questions is, Have they moved on? And usually when somebody asks me that question, it's in regards to a relationship that nobody in their right mind will be able to move on from that quickly. You know, like we were together for 5 years. We broke up 2 months ago. Have they moved on? No. Let's talk. You know what? Let's bring some scientific facts into it. For those of you who don't know much about me, one of my favorite things to do in the spiritual community is bridge the gap between science and mysticism. Okay? If you've been with somebody for any amount of time over a year, and even leading up to a year, this starts to happen. Your brain starts wiring itself to that person in your life. Your brain. Your fucking neural network starts to wire itself to that person being there. That starts happening in under a year. Once y'all been together over a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that person's whole neural network is wired to you. Not something you're just gonna fucking unwire in a few weeks. No. You can distract yourself from it, just like you can run to the bar and get drunk. That'll distract you from it, but that doesn't mean they've moved on. I don't care what it looks like they doing. I don't care if they already in a new relationship, or you know, these idiots that leave one relationship, next thing you know they're engaged 2 weeks later. Oh my God. It's like, you fucking dumb. No, they have not moved on. Trust me. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just see if they're taking any actions towards you. Is this person taking action towards Libra? Ooh, Knight of Wands. Hang on. Knight of Swords reversed. And the Four of Wands reversed. Hold up. So, okay. Right now, this person's number one priority is to try to find somebody new. Like I said, most people, no, they do not know how to move on from a person. They got to find somebody new. They got to distract themselves from it. You know? If, and this is a big if, they're unsuccessful for too fucking long, then you'll probably hear from them. Like for those of you dealing with somebody that left you for somebody else, whenever you bounce from one relationship to another, there's about a fucking 80 to 90% chance that's going to collapse in under a year. And there's energy principles behind that. That's not just a theory. Or, like, let's say they thought they were just going to walk away from you and go find somebody new easily, you know? If they find themselves at a place where their options are drying up, they can't connect with nobody. No matter who they try to get with, no matter who they try to fuck with, it just falls through. That greatly increases the chances of them coming back. So I don't think they're planning on it this week, but judging by this person's energy, this energy, and this energy, with this energy, and this energy, the likelihood that they are going to lay a solid foundation with that energy anytime soon is incredibly slim. So that means the more time goes on, the likelihood that you're going to hear from them is much higher. See? I think you will end up hearing from this person in 2025. I don't know about this week, though. I don't know about all that. But all you got to do is just give it time. And in the meantime, make sure you are healing. telling you make sure you are healing. I'm not saying, I'm not telling you that if this person comes back to do it or not to do it. Make sure you've done healing. So the more healing you've done, the more likely that you're going to make a smart decision, that you're going to be thinking with clear vision when it comes to dealing with this person. So that's all I'm going to say on that. All right, Scorpio. Scorpio. Let's see how this person's feeling about you. How are they feeling about you? How do they see you? How do they view you? What are they thinking about you? What's their energy towards you? What are their intentions? Four of Pentacles reversed. Kind of looks like they're trying to let go of this. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, they're trying to let go of this. They're trying to let go of this. Their number one priority is to try to heal right now. I think they want closure, honestly. I think they want closure. So they're trying like hell to heal from this. You know this person's a mess, right? Now, usually, you've probably already heard me say this a few times in this video. Usually, when you see this energy, it's usually packaged with somebody trying to make it look like they're doing better than they are. But I don't get that with this person. If they are, they're doing a piss poor job. Because I kind of feel like a lot of you may blatantly know that this person is a fucking mess. Especially if they're the type of person that likes sympathy, you know. I don't see this person successfully making it look like they're healing. This person's a mess, dude. It almost looks like this person's life is a mess in all areas. Financially, in their love life, with their family. You know, it looks like this person, their life is just fucked up all the way around. In regards to you, though, they want closure, but they're trying to let go of this, and they're trying to heal from this. Yeah. I think what they're doing is they're waiting for you to let your guard down. Waiting for you to let your guard down before they even approach you, you know? And every time this comes through, I never understand this. How are they going to know when and if you let your guard down? That never makes sense to me. Never makes sense to me. How do you know if I've let my guard down? Usually they're projecting. They're projecting. So by the time they have let their guard down, then they will assume that you've let your guard down. So yeah, this person's a mess, man. They're trying to heal from this and trying to let go of this. So far, it's incredibly unsuccessful. I don't know why. Is this something that happened recently? If this is something that happened recently, then that makes sense. You know, that's understandable. But if this is something that came to an end a while back, well, then this person's just a fucking mess. And you see that sometimes. Sometimes you see people just don't know how to heal from anything that happens to them. And they're just a mess their whole life, you know. Let's see if they're taking any action towards you. Is this person taking action towards Scorpio? Knight of Pentacles again. Honestly, it kind of feels to me like They are trying to remove their focus from emotional situations and focus on their finances. That's what it looks like to me. They're trying to just completely ignore situations of the heart, love situations, and they're focusing all their energy on their work and their finances. So, doesn't look like a whole lot of actions happening here, man. Page of Cups, Ace of Cups reversed. Anything to do with love, matters of the heart, they're just walking away from all that and focusing on their money. So, and you know, if they find themselves in the right opportunity, just sex-based connections, you know. Jesus Christ, Scorpio. All right. Sagittarius. That deck said no. Sagittarius, how's this person feeling about you? What's their energy towards you? By the way, those of you tuning in right now, we are changing the weekly live readings back to Saturday. I know this week was fucked up and confusing and, you know, but it's going back to Saturday. Every Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. You can pre-order anytime. All right. How's this person feeling about Sagittarius universe? Two of Swords. Up in their head. Don't know what decision to make. Hang on. Queen of Cups reverse. King of Cups upright. I don't know. It kind of is there some kind of decision this person needs to make? Because it looks like if there's a decision they need to make, they're not doing it. This person's extremely insecure. First of all, I don't know if you know that or not. You know, sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can't. Because when it comes to insecurities, when it comes to insecure people, you have two types of people. You have one type of person that tucks their tail between their legs, sticks their lip out, and acts like a little bitch. The other type of person tries to cloak themselves with false confidence. You know, real cocky, arrogant, you know, I'm the best, look at me, you know. So that's the same energy. It just depends on who that energy is manifesting itself through. But this person is extremely insecure, and I think they're quite a bit intimidated by you. I'm seeing a lot of energy of the two of you mirroring each other. Y'all are mirroring the shit out of each other. Check this out. Got the King of Cups, Queen of Cups mirroring each other here. And then we got the Emperor and the Empress mirroring each other here. Maybe they're trying to mirror you. That's almost kind of what this is feeling like. Like they're trying to mirror you. Yeah, I could see some insecure people trying to match your energy and mirror you, you know? Because they're intimidated by your energy, so they're trying to match your energy. They're trying to make you feel how they feel, you know? Look, that's one of the, they should teach that in school. They should teach that shit in school, man. That's one of the most important life lessons that most people don't learn until way later on down the line. The earlier you learn that, the easier people are to deal with. People try to make you feel how they feel. Across the board. 100%, period. If somebody feels happy, uplifted, and motivated, they try to motivate you and lift you up. If somebody feels stupid and insignificant, they try to make you feel stupid and insignificant, right? Because we all want company. They say misery loves company. Everything loves company. Happiness loves company too. Every energy loves company. So keep that in mind. 90% of the way people treat you and act towards you is projection. Once you understand that, you'll never take anything fucking personal ever again. So, well, let's see if they're taking any action towards you. Is this person taking action towards Sagittarius this week? Just for the week. Ooh, King of Cups. Empress reversed. Knight of Swords reversed. Two of Swords again. Damn it, man. Look at that. This has so far been an extremely actionless week. I haven't seen very much action at all for this week, dude. And the Emperor reversed again. Look, I don't know who needs to hear that. But you're dealing with an insecure individual who wants you to feel how they feel. They want you to feel, and that, you know, that intensifies in relationships too. That intensifies in relationships. When your partner is happy, they want you to be happy. When they're mad, they want to make you mad. When they're sad, they want you to be sad, right? Come on now. Ooh, look at this though. Now this came out at the very end of the line. Now while I was shuffling, this card kept yelling at me and I thought it was going to come out first, but it didn't. It came out last. So I don't know if it's going to be this week because it's at the end of the timeline here. But I am thinking that coming up, there's going to be a brief reconnection between the two of you. I think the two of you are going to very briefly end up reconnecting. But again, the Knight of Wands is not necessarily a bad person, but a very flaky and inconsistent person. You know, this is the type of person that makes an appearance in your life and you think, oh, cool, you're back in my life. Pew, that ghosts you again, you know. So watch out for that. Like I said, I'm not convinced that's this week, but it's down there at the end of the timeline. I feel like there will eventually end up being a brief reconnection between the two of you. And again, I'm not doing advice spreads today, but I will say try to manage your expectations. One thing I've noticed about my Saggies, man, y'all know that you're my favorite sign, right? You know you've always been my favorite sign pretty much my whole life. And I'm happily married to a Sagittarius who is my divine life partner. Love it. Love that sign. However, a lot of y'all can tend to be a little bit too forgiving sometimes. And sometimes y'all can have a hard time accepting when a person shows you their true colors. If somebody lied to you a lot in the past, there's a good likelihood that you're probably going to forget it later on down the line. And then if you reconnect with them and they lie to you again, that takes you by surprise. It's like, well, you always knew they was a liar. Why did you expect them to just wake up and start telling the truth? You know? So manage your expectations of this individual. All right, Capricorn. Capricorn. Let's see how this person's feeling about you. Person Capricorn's dealing with, thinking about, the person taking up all that space in your goddamn head. Let's see their feelings, energies towards you. All that good shit. Let's see. Sun card, Ace of Swords reversed. Okay. They do feel a really strong sense of unfinished business. Now, we already talked about this earlier in the Gemini reading. So, if you dealt with somebody who dabbles in metaphysics and esoterics, I guarantee you, they probably tried to throw some black magic at you. Now, I'm not going to dig up that rabbit hole here because I already did for the Gemini. So if that's you, if you're worried that somebody might have tried to throw some black magic at you, go watch the Gemini reading. I go in depth about that. But I know that's not all of you. But this person does feel a really strong feeling of unfinished business. But you know what I don't see here? Hang on. Ah, there's the Page of Cups. Okay. Okay. Ah, there we go. There it is. Nine of Swords, Page of Cups. So they feel really, really, really strong, unfinished business. You know what I think? I think that for some reason, this person was convinced that you were going to come running and chasing after him. I don't know why they thought that. Have you done that before? I don't know. Maybe for some of you, you've done it before. You parted ways, and then you came running and chasing and begging, and that blew their head up and made them think, okay, well, I can just do whatever I want. You'll come chasing after me, you know? But I don't know. I don't know why they were very, very certain that you would come running and chasing after them. But you didn't. So the more time rolls on, they're starting to get freaked the fuck out that you may actually not give a fuck. Maybe Capricorn just really doesn't care. I think that's starting to scare him a little bit. Starting to freak him out. So now it's keeping him up at night. Keeping him up at night, thinking that maybe you really are moving on from this. Maybe you really are letting go of this. And it's like they want to know so bad, but they're too damn scared to approach you. They thought they were the ones with the power. They thought they had the upper hand on you. And now it's starting to appear as though that may not be true, and that scares the shit out of them. Told you. Told you. They've been waiting on you to break the silence. And since you haven't done that, now they're starting to get scared. Okay. Some of you dealt with a Cancer. I also have Leo, Pisces, Taurus. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. And the good old Eight of Swords. So, for those of you wondering whether or not this person regrets what they did, whether or not this has been a wake-up call for them, whether or not they've changed their view, changed their stance, changed their feelings, or anything like that, this person doesn't even believe that they've done anything wrong. They're refusing to acknowledge the truth about the situation. So, well, let's see if they've taken any action towards you and if there's going to be an outcome for the week. Will there be any actions or outcome for the week for Capricorn? Whoops. Any actions or outcome for Capricorn for the week? King of Wands. This has been such an actionless week, dude. Such an actionless week. Boom. Lover's card reversed. Two of Cups reversed. No. Not really. Not really. If anything, what they're probably going to start doing is going out and trying to find somebody to replace you, or maybe party it up and try to distract themselves from this. But as far as taking action, it doesn't look very action-packed, man. It really don't. It really don't. What I would say, this is just like, so for those of you just now tuning in, I'm not doing advice spreads, but if I have something to say about it, I'll throw it in there. What I would say, I've been in situations like this before. Keep it going. Keep it going. There's some people out there who, if they know that they have power over you, you know, and you really don't want to lose them, and you'll do everything you can to try to fix it, you know, and you're begging and pleading, they'll play with that. They will play with that. They will take that and run with it it blows their head up so big and validates them and makes them feel like their shit don't stink. And then when you cut that off, oh, then that's when it'll turn into a game of push-pull. You ever had that? Where every time I walk away from you, you come chasing after me. But then when I agree to work on this, then you take off running. Push, pull, push, pull. You got to put an end to the push, pull. You establish the upper hand. Okay? Which is a shame. We shouldn't even be talking about who has the upper hand. You know? That shouldn't even be a factor in a successful relationship. But when you got somebody who's playing that game, play it back. Play it harder. All right. Aquarius. Aquarius. Let me straighten my area up here. Aquarius. How's the person on Aquarius's mind feeling about you? What's their thoughts, their feelings, their energies towards you? Two more shuffles, two more. Moon card. Ooh, 9 of Cups, Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles. Good Lord. Okay. Well, from the outside looking in, it appears as though you are extremely fucking independent. Extremely. It looks like you're fucking solid where you are. You're happy. You got it all together. You don't need them. You don't need nobody. And I think that does intimidate the shit out of them. Honestly, it kind of looks like they're not really obsessing over you as much as they were. I think they were. They did spend quite some time fucking obsessing over this. But now it just seems like you're so solid where you are that there's no point in obsessing over you, you know? I don't know. They kind of go back and forth. There's days where they're just like, God damn, man, Aquarius just completely forgot that I even existed. Doesn't even give a shit if they ever see me again. And then there's other days, you know, where they're like, no, there's no way. There's no fucking way. I know Aquarius misses me and loves me and wants to be with me. They go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Now, they have done lots of things to try to get your attention. A whole lot. I don't know. I think they're waiting on the right opportunity. They're waiting on the right opportunity. Now, what is the right opportunity? So if it looks like you're independent, you're set, you're solid, you're happy, you don't care about them, and that intimidates them too much to come forward, what would be the right opportunity for them to come forward? Something bad happens to you, right? Something bad happens to you. I think that's what they're watching out for. They're watching out to see if they can ever catch you in a vulnerable place, right? And then they're going to slither their way up in there. That's what they're planning on. That's what they planning on. But, I mean, I guess the good news is it doesn't look like they're seeing that open door of opportunity. So that means one of two things. Either A, nothing bad's happening to you. Knock on wood. Or B, even if it does, you ain't gonna let them know. You know? I think most of you are smarter than that. You know, you see all these people fishing for sympathy on social media, and they don't realize that they're entertaining people when they do that. I know that sounds morbid, but that's the truth. That's the truth. When people are out there boo-hooing, boo-hoo, poor pitiful me, all this. They entertain people, And I think most of you are aware of that. So I'm feeling like even if something was to happen in your life, the likelihood that you would make it public or make it to where they would find out about it would be very slim anyways, So, all right, well, some of you are dealing with the Aries. I also have Capricorn, Scorpio, Pisces. It could be anybody. Those are just energies. Let's see if they taken any action towards you. Is this person taking action towards Aquarius universe? Are they taking action? This is one of the most common cards to come out in the actions tonight, isn't it? Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is all about being indecisive. Having a decision that needs to be made and not knowing what decision to make, therefore not taking action. But they are contemplating something. Let's see. They're contemplating whether or not you would be willing to work things out with them. Yeah, in the meantime, putting on a show, hoping that you're watching, but still too scared to come forward. And by the way, still a lot more fucked up than you know. Okay, well, damn dog. The only thing I would say is if you do choose to talk to this person, you better go into it with your guard up. Your guard up. And the minute they start trying to play emotional games with you, cut it off. Cut it off. Because that's probably the first thing they're going to do. First thing they're going to do is go straight for your emotions. Trying to guilt trip you, throw a pity party, play on your sympathy, cut it off. All right, Pisces. Pisces, let's see how this person's feeling about you. What's their energy towards you? How are they feeling about you? Pisces. What's their intentions look like? What kind of person are they in general? Boom! Knight of Pentacles reversed. King of Pentacles reversed. Five of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Wow, this is interesting. What did I just get done saying? The Two of Swords is such a common card tonight. It's usually in the actions, but I've seen that card a lot. So they're contemplating making a return and breaking the silence. But they're too scared. Too scared. This is the Nine of Swords. It may be kind of hard to tell what card this is, but this is the same card as, let me see if I can find it real quick here. This one. So it's kind of strangely depicted in this deck, but the card of nervousness, anxiety, sleepless nights, and whatnot. So yeah, I think they're contemplating making a return. But what are their feelings? Well, the good old Eight of Swords. So they are 100% refusing to acknowledge the truth about the situation. This card's come out about 5 times tonight. So for those of you wondering whether or not this person regrets what they did or has changed their feelings, has changed their stance on things, or whether or not this has been a wake-up call, they don't even believe they've done anything wrong. They're refusing to look at themselves. But they are contemplating coming forward. They are thinking about it. For those of you dealing with somebody that had an addiction issue, they could be battling that, trying to get clean, in and out of rehab. They're still holding on to a little bit of bitterness, a little bit pissed off, and trying to give you the silent treatment at the same time. They're thinking about it, man. I think they're this close. Because when you got the Fool card and the Five of Pentacles reversed and the Eight of Cups reversed, that's all reconciliation energy. You know what throws a monkey wrench in that? The Four of Cups and the Two of Swords. With these two cards here, that throws a monkey wrench in what actions they're taking. We're going to look closer at the actual actions now, but I think it's this close. Let's see what actions they're taking this week. Are they taking any action this week? Is there going to be any kind of outcome? Knight of Cups reversed. There has been no fucking action for this week, dude. Page of Wands reversed. They are keeping a close eye on you, though. 100% keeping a close eye on you, but King of Coins, Page of Wands, Knight of Cups reversed. No actions. No actions. I think it would kind of depend on, definitely how long it's been since this situation went down or whatever. But again, when that Eight of Swords comes through like that, I said this earlier, I think to Leo maybe, or maybe Virgo, I'm not going to tell you what and what not to do with this situation. But I will tell you this. They don't believe they did anything wrong. Just know that going into it. Know that going into it. They don't believe they did anything wrong. They do not see an issue with their own actions. If you know that going into it, be careful, okay? All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that all my signs of the zodiac needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is in the description. Also, remember, we are changing the weekly live readings back to Saturday now. Soccer season is over for my daughter, so now we're going back to Saturdays. And for those of you who missed the memo, don't forget to get your hands on my course on how to read the tarot. That's still my most popular course to this day. And the goal for that course is not to teach you how to read like me. I mean, you can if you want, but the ultimate goal is to give you the confidence to learn how to read as simple as you possibly can. You don't have to drive yourself nuts following all these rules and doing everything like this and doing everything. My goal with the tarot course is to teach you how to develop your own unique style that's different from anything that anybody else is doing with confidence. It's a two-part course, though, so there is a lot that goes into it because the first part is 90% how I interpret each card. And that's important. I'm not saying that it's not, but the part two is what dives into the really important stuff, and that's the intuitive guide. How to develop that relationship with yourself, with the cards, with your intuition, with the universe, and read with confidence, So the link for that is in the description, and June 1st it goes bye-bye. So, all right, y'all, I'm out of here now. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.